running through my veins from the first days you held me. Pleasure in my pain. Whiskey angel, whiskey angel, where did you come from? Was it heaven smiling, or hell up beneath light? You're all I ever wanted, and now I must say goodbye. Oh, goodbye. Who knew love could hurt you, drowned you in its rain, tell you lies and smiling, leave you with shame. Now the love has faded, there's a tremble in your voice, just like angels sing, because they have no choice. Whiskey angel, whiskey angel, where did you come from? Was it heaven smiling, hell up beneath light? You're all I ever wanted, and now I must say goodbye. Oh, goodbye.
Hey guys, I'm Cruz Contreras,
And I'm Molly Contreras.
and we're live here in the Promotion Studios on Market Square. The song is called The Fall.
I am not a rich man, I have no fortune to bear. I was born in the desert, where a flower is so rare.
I am not a rich girl. I have no diamond to share. I was born on the ocean, 1,000 stars I wear. I'll wear.
I am not a sailor, I am no captain at sea. I was born in the desert, and a captain I will not be. A captain I will not be.
I was born on the water. My father sailed the ocean wide. A mermaid, my mother.
Kiss me like it's not over.
What's going on? Welcome to the show, live from Market Square, Friday, here in Knoxville.
Yes.
back in action.
Oh
again.
man, another busy week.
It's always been insane. It never stops here.
No, like last night we had
Amazing-
yesterday,
Amazing event.
from about
man.
4 to 8, amazing event out there at the Knoxville Expo Center with NTI. Great networking event. If you're not networking in this area,
right?
Huh?
NNA was the
NNA and NTI, yeah. Great organizations, great turnout, lots of fun. If you're not networking in this area, consider joining one of those groups because you'll meet a lot of like-minded professionals and a lot of business-minded, driven, goal-oriented people similar to yourself. And you never know what you can kind of turn up with a meeting with one of these people, get a one-to-one, and start talking about how you can help each other. We met a lot of great people yesterday. Huh? Is my mic on?
Oh yeah, look at that. My mic is not on. Hey, my mic's on now. Yeah, that makes a big difference. Turn that mic on.
Oh, fantastic.
There you go. So, restart.
Welcome, live from Market Square. It's Friday, and it's been a long week, as you can tell. We were just talking about how we had a great networking event last night with NTI and NNA out at the Knoxville Expo Center. If you're not networking in this area, consider joining one of these groups, coming out and participating in one of these events. It's a great way to meet like-minded, goal-oriented, driven professionals like yourself, and get some of these meetings together, make some deals, see how you can help each other out, because it's just a fantastic resource for
Networking is key.
Yeah, for any
Networking is
professional
key.
business organization. If you're a small business, if you're a larger corporation, there's definitely people out there you can meet that can help you. So
Constantly.
we had a lot of fun with it, and
Yeah, we
man,
provided DJ service over there, and we had our booth set up, and it was a lot of blast. It was a lot of fun. We met a lot of people, man.
they were giving away money and TVs. I mean, you could come out and win some
Prizes.
cold hard cash, man.
Yeah.
They're giving away prizes to some of these great local businesses, and yeah, there's some free food. There's some good food. You got CJ's Tacos down there.
CJ's Tacos,
I'm craving-
Kelly's Kitchen.
Kelly's Kitchen was giving away some killer sandwiches, man.
Yeah, it was great.
Definitely be looking for them for some catering, and yeah, it's a great turnout.
Yeah.
And looking forward to doing the one in September.
Yeah,
as
September
well.
9th is the next one, so we'll be out there. Actually, we met a lot of great influential people. Looking forward to moving forward in the future with them and getting tied in with those people as well. And in fact, we actually have a great guest from the show today.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Jason Dean, one of the organizers and exhibitors there last night.
Yeah.
Glad to have you.
Yeah, glad to be here.
And you're based out of Ohio,
Yep, Cleveland, Ohio.
and you were down here just for the NNA NTI Hobnob. That's what it was.
Correct, yeah. We're down here representing NNA, National Networking Association, really putting together the foundation for not only helping to train and educate people on how to network, but also designing a certification so that people who are in a sales position can get certified and go to their employer and say, hey, look, I have what it takes. I know how to network and can bring business into the company.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I don't know if a lot of even larger corporations consider, really sending their sales teams to some of these networking events. Absolutely should be taking advantage of those, because you've got essentially a captive audience. You've got people who are going to be there, and they're there for the same reason you are, to make sales and to make deals. So it's a lot easier to, grease the wheels someplace like that than just a cold call.
Oh, definitely. It's all about building relationships. And for a lot of people, they start a sales position, they get sent out to go to a networking event. They go, they pass out business cards, go back to their office, and then expect people to call them out of the blue just because they passed out a business card. Networking is something that has to be done consistently. Building those relationships. The more you're in front of somebody, the better they're going to get to know you. They'll like you, get to trust you, and they will pass business to you.
That
sounds like my life right now for the past 3.5 years.
Absolutely.
For
Now
me,
you can
it's all
stay
about
busy.
connections and.
We actually got that up right there right now. That's is that ROI?
Yeah, so that's my business consulting company. Basically, what I typically do is I come into businesses, I identify their pain points, and I provide solutions for them, either through my strategic partnerships or the people I network with. People will often ask me, what does ROI stand for? And most people are familiar with it from the standpoint of return on investment, looking at that bottom line. And I can definitely help with that, but there's another side to it there, and that's return on intention. So are you trying to build a positive culture within your business that's really going to take your business to the next level? And so depending on where you're at in business and what you're looking to achieve, we can look at either end of that for you.
That's a really, really important thing to consider in a business. In a small business that's starting to grow, what kind of culture are you creating in your business? What's the public perception, public image of your business as well? Yeah, absolutely, very, very important. So you were talking about pain points for somebody not familiar. What are common pain points for a business?
Well, it all depends on what industry they're in. But typically, initially at least, as I come into a business, I'll look at their operational expenses, so like their utilities, if they do payment processing, things of that nature. I'll look at what they're doing from a benefit standpoint for their employees. Telemedicine is a pretty big issue right now with the pandemic.
Telemedicine?
So telemedicine is the ability to call in, get seen over your cell phone, on the computer. They put the prescription in to your local pharmacy, you go pick it up, you're done in about an hour.
Oh, wow.
Versus having to make an appointment, wait for that appointment.
Go to that doctor.
Yeah, go to the doctor, sit in the dirty waiting room. A lot of people, during the pandemic, they weren't going to the doctor because they didn't want to come home with something that they didn't already have in the first
there's so
place.
many people with compromised immune systems just naturally as it is, so it's difficult for them to attend.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. The third area was cybersecurity. So a lot of these companies were sending people home to work from home but didn't know how to secure their data. So that's been a really big aspect of it as well, especially with ransomware. A lot of people have consumer-grade antivirus on their device, like an Avast or a Norton or a McAfee, and believe that they're protected. But these advanced next-generation viruses are nasty, and I don't want to scare people too much, but there's so much going on out there in that space that it'd blow your mind.
Well, you see news articles all the time about people, big corporations getting ransom hacked, getting client data exposed.
Yep.
It's not just a small company. It's the big companies that are investing millions into cybersecurity, and yet the hackers are still able to. So being one step ahead of them, and having somebody involved and in your corner, and seeing what's happening in that, I guess, industry.
Yep.
I mean, that dark market of industry. So
it is an industry, and they have a business mindset about it. If they can spend a lot of time going after those big corporations, but those big corporations have a security infrastructure in place, and eventually they'll be able to hit that payload one day, right? The flip side of that is they can go after those small businesses, especially in the healthcare sector, and they can make just as much, if not more money, because they don't have that infrastructure in place. It's much easier to breach those companies. And there was one I was talking to yesterday. Those small businesses, their focus is on bringing in patients, bringing in clients, paying the bills, staying afloat, and they don't have that mindset, that they could be compromised, that data could be compromised. And that's a huge red flag for any business. 60% of businesses that get ransomed within the next 6 months are done.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
and
crazy.
well, it's like somebody robbing a small town convenience store or somebody robbing a bank. That small town convenience store, they get robbed, that might be the end of their business. That bank, they're staying around. So, yeah, definitely the cyber security stuff is just absolutely growing.
I have a question.
Issue.
So, if the internet was to ever go down, completely, and would there still be access of the cybersecurity? I mean, I don't know. I guess if the internet goes down, then I guess there's no cybersecurity.
Yeah, well, so if there's no internet, there's no way to
yeah.
attack your device, right?
Yeah. The only
I guess
way
that
to
was a dumb question.
the only way to attack it then would be directly on the servers wherever
Yeah.
that information is hosted. James.
Locally, yep.
Yeah.
And you're also involved with a entertainment group. Is it based in Ohio as well? Try
It
Entertainment.
is Cleveland, Ohio. Actually, they moved from Atlanta up to Cleveland. Originally came out of Ichiban Records.
Oh, cool.
And Try Entertainment Group, great company. Just the beginning of this month, April 6th, we launched a new pop artist, Taylor Esposito.
We actually got something on her, and we can play that.
Her song is "Kiss Me Like It's Not Over." We've got the remix scheduled to drop on June 22nd, and then working on the recording for the second single coming out this fall.
It's got a great pop sound. So let's check that out. Taylor Esposito, "Kiss Me Like It's Not Over."
Something doesn't feel right no more. You can, but I can't ignore. Things were much different before. Little bites and stings of some more. I needed every part of you. Stayed up in the dark for you. Now tell me what we're gonna do. Someone out there to steal your heart. Might as well put a knife in me. Had a fear you were moving on. 50 shades and 0 degrees. When I called you, didn't come for me. And it's all and I'm beaten down. Another one down in my bad luck. I'll fix myself and that grown up. I try for you. I try for you. And piece by piece, I won't fall back. I'll brace myself and stay on track. I die for you. Hit me with your love. Never give me up. Show me what I mean to you. Kiss me like it's not over. Tell me one more time. We can leave this all behind. 'Cause you know that I die for you. Kiss me like it's not over. All the cards thrown on the floor. I picked the wrong one, that's all. Lovers, they come and they go. I wish I stayed in control. I needed every part of you. I stayed up in the dark for you. Now tell me what we're gonna do. Another one down in my bad luck. I'll fix myself and that grown up. I try for you. I try for you. And piece by piece, I won't fall back. I'll brace myself and stay on track. I die for you. Hit me with your love. Never give me up. Show me what I mean to you. Kiss me like it's not over. Just tell me one more time. We can leave this all behind. 'Cause you know that I die for you. Kiss me like it's not over. Go ahead and make your move. So do it now. 'Cause I won't cry for you. I don't cry for you. I won't be backing down. No matter how bad I want you. I want you. Hit me with your love. Never give me up. Show me what I mean to you. Kiss me like it's not over. Just tell me one more time. We can leave this all behind. 'Cause you know that I die for you. Kiss me like it's not over. Hit me with your love. Never give me up. Show me what I mean to you. Kiss me like it's not over. Just tell me one more time. We can leave this all behind. 'Cause you know that I die for you. Kiss me like it's not over.
Very cool. Taylor Esposito, "Kiss Me Like It's Not Over." and got Jason Dean here with Try Entertainment Group. And you said that the remix for that's coming out when?
June 22nd.
And had a little snippet, like preview of that in that video, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really, really sweet video too. I love all the CGI and everything else.
Yeah, Nate opened it up. He was like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Tweaking his brain.
Yeah. So you work with Try Entertainment, and
Try Entertainment has some major success too, which he's told me about, and you should share that.
Yeah. The last big name artist that Try Entertainment Group launched was Machine Gun Kelly. And so basically the vision of Try Entertainment Group is to bring music back to Cleveland the way it used to be, make it that music mecca. Really it's keeping that talent in Cleveland instead of them having to go out to New York, out to LA, etc. And our focus is really developing the artist. So taking them from somebody who's just looking to get started and developing them both artistically and, from a mindset standpoint, getting them ready to the point where the bigger labels are coming in to do like a joint venture and put, the real muscle behind their career.
So when did you guys start working with Machine Gun Kelly?
Oh shoot, now you're getting into some of the history of it.
Yeah.
Me personally, I've only been with Try since summer of last year. I really don't know how much time they put into him.
I was just curious because he's one of those artists that's always he had the most recent album 2019 or so that really, really blew up for him. And obviously the crossover thing that he did with members of Blink-182, or Travis Barker, and a couple of other guys, the crossover kind of like pop punk stuff did really well as also. But he's been one of those underground kind of artists on my periphery for a while because he's had a different kind of hip hop style.
Yeah.
And I guess you could attribute that to the Cleveland area and that kind of. It's a unique brand. Detroit had a similar thing for a few years with Kid Rock and Eminem coming out of there. It was like a very unique brand of hip hop. And you can see, I can see Cleveland doing the same kind of thing with what he's doing.
Oh yeah.
Because he's put a very, he's not pretentious about his sound. So he's focused on the music, regardless of whether it's hip hop or pop punk or whatever. So I think that's definitely a credit to his talent as well. And so Taylor is, I guess, the next big thing from them. Maybe are you some other artists that you can?
We've got 4 or 5 other artists in the pipeline.
Yeah.
Can't really talk about them too much. From a business model standpoint, Try Entertainment Group, the focus is the artist. So from a policy perspective, we'll never have more than 7 artists on the label at any given time because we want to focus that attention on those artists and, bring them the best service really that we can.
And is this the kind of I guess are there artists that try to pursue you, or is there a screening process or like a vetting process?
There is. That's left more to the CEO, Brian Anthony. As the vice chairman, my job pretty much is problem solving and dealing with investors. So.
And dealing with investors. Well.
That's where you got to be sometimes.
You got to have somebody to bankroll some of these projects as well.
It gets expensive fast.
Yeah.
We've done a pretty good job at keeping it at a moderate cost, but if we really wanted to take someone to that serious next level, I'm talking some serious investment dollars.
And that's a kind of a different model, I guess, is because these artists aren't paying you. You're finding people to invest in these artists, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. That's a very different thing, and you've got to be very mindful about who you're working with because you don't want to invest a lot of time and money into somebody that might eventually go off the rails in one way or another. You got to make sure they're a focused individual that's going to be, dedicated to getting that music and craft
especially
out
when you're
there.
having hundreds of $1,000s poured into it.
Well, it's what you're talking about earlier, that return on intention. It's like you got to build a culture around them that is going to be profitable for them and is going to bring more business in, just aligning them with that audience as well. So.
Right, and a lot of it is mindset, right? So developing that artist, developing the mindset, helping them to understand what it takes to be successful in the industry. It takes a lot of hard work. The rehearsals and everything that went into that video. Her choreographer is Todd Sams. He's done a lot of choreography for Usher and Beyonce and some other big names. But he put a lot of time into it, and she, did the same. Like, she took her game up, a couple levels, and really put in the work the week leading up to that video shoot. And you could really see where that rehearsal paid off. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was. That's what I was saying when we were watching. I was like, man, we should do something.
And what have I said before? Like, you want to do something like that, you got to spend money, and we got to invest time into rehearsals, and you got to have. Yeah. I think it's important to even kind of like draw a parallel between even our two kind of business models. Obviously, artists pay us for us to create content. You're seeking out investors to invest in a product that you're helping to develop. And that's an overarching product of their merchandising and everything like that. Is just like, we've got a look, we've got a feel, we've got albums and everything to put out. Ours is more like, the artist is investing in themselves through us. Yeah. Is the way I'd put it. Well, it's almost like, I guess, the step to something like what you're doing. Because they're like, you've got to invest a lot of your own time.
That's a record label to where they're getting behind an artist and investing into the artist to potentially make a return on investment. To where we're more of like a intermediary. We're like a
intermediary.
Yeah, exactly. We're like we're like the step before you hit a record label.
There's a lot of your own time and money you've got to invest into being a musician.
Oh, a lot.
I mean, you've got to develop that talent to a level that people are going to want to invest money into.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's really hard for even us just to get the local and regional names to invest money into themselves.
Well, it's
but
part of the
artists that work with us, they see a major improvement in a short period of time, and they're like, well, shit, like, I want to keep this thing going,
Well, when you can,
but like it's so hard for musicians to get seen and heard by those major record labels, and we're kind of like creating all that content, pushing it through social media so they can get seen.
It's hard for somebody to stand out, and just to be, for somebody even to see them as like that diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think it's cool to see, like, for us to have someone on to illustrate the two. Well, and that's just two of the many variety of types of business models in this music industry. So.
Well, all the different things surrounding the artist, like you said, the merchandising. We're actually helping to develop a vodka line along with it. The line is called Emerge, and that's all going through that process. Distillery, bottling, lining up with actually the second single that's going to be coming out, and that's called Two Shots.
Oh, wow.
So the marketing that has been put together around all of that is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
The experiential marketing side of it is where it's not just marketing, it's the experience that somebody has around, engaging with that artist.
Yeah.
We partnered with a company called Do It Outdoors Media, or DIO. And that's their forte, is that experiential marketing. And I think that's going to bring a whole other level to the industry. There's a lot of other big companies like Budweiser and a few others that are already taking advantage of that kind of technology. But you're going to see more and more of it as everything continues to develop.
That's really neat. I need to check into that one. That's a whole nother ball game.
Well, and
I try to get people sponsored by people, sponsorships and endorsements and so forth all the time. But actually like taking the brand and wrapping it around an actual physical product, and then using the product to market that brand is something that I haven't really tried yet.
Well, and the customers are on the receiving end of that experience, so to speak. But on the backside, there's somebody who's sourcing the vodka, sourcing the bottles, the graphic designer who's designed the logo, or probably about 300 logos that everybody's been like, no, yeah, maybe, no. And so
It's expensive fast.
There's so much work that goes into just launching one kind of experience.
Yep.
And yeah, it's a crazy how much people's passion, how many people's passion and works and time go into creating anything for one person or two people sometimes.
Well, I mean, as much as it's for them, I think a
It's
lot
for
of
the-
times the artist,
Yeah.
is doing it for the community.
Exactly, it's
and,
for the consumer as well.
and I think each of us, when it comes to social media, at some point we have to decide: are we consumers or are we contributors? Right? What are you as an individual bringing to the world, to the community? Right? I love the fact that you guys have this show. Being a contributor, bringing all of these topics to the
Reality.
communities. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's we could very easily sit here and not have these cameras on and put them to use, but that just seemed seemed pointless.
It was pointless. It was like, man, we had, well, I was on
We've got
I was
the
on that
time.
streaming show up there anyways, and then it canceled, and I was just like, Jim Johnson and I was like, guess what? He's like, well, I was like, we're gonna do it for the studio on Wednesday. He's like, really? I was like, yeah, it's gonna be an experience. And then it's just progressed to where we are now. Now we're getting ready to go into we're going to do a night show to where we'll have a live performance. And
Yes.
we'll have a model or an actor or an influencer come in, and then we'll interview them as well. And then we'll go and interplay between everything, which will be a whole different kind of ball game compared to there's no one around here even touching that.
No.
I don't know anyone in this East Tennessee area that's touching that besides people in Nashville.
Not that I'm aware of. So,
I
mean, there may be somebody out there, but they're not doing a good job of SEO.
Yeah, right. I mean, we're we've been at it for a while now, and we're just trucking along. We're just trying to create new ways of getting the word out there for people, and
Yeah, there's a lot of
Marketing.
things that are kind of that are outside of our reach, so to speak, just financially and pulling resources together is a lot of what we have to do. And when we find somebody who's interested in what we're doing, and they have a product or service that we can
work with.
then we do everything we can to find some way to do it.
Yeah, definitely. But it's super cool to hear from your guys' side, from getting the investor side. That's something I wanted to get into in the past, but I've just been too busy just trying to make this thing float and keep afloat. Doing all the sales and everything else to keep all the work coming in. But actually finding investors for musicians. And I've talked to a few people, and they seem interested because they have a lot of marketing content coming out coming from the brand through us. And I'm also booking shows constantly all the time. So they can see how they can make a return on investment kind of deal. But
Well, it's a visibility,
it's definitely super hard to get someone interested enough to invest into a person or an idea in the music industry. It's extremely tough.
Well,
And the fact that you
showing
have
them a return on investment.
you have success stories, and that is wild. It's because right now in the modern day age, you can't really sell records. It's hard to make money back on selling records and streaming services. I mean, merch and touring is really the only way you can go.
You got to be able to pivot, I think, and
And now that you're using a product to offset it too, and I was like, that's a genius idea.
you have a lot of trendsetters too. And if you can be right there on the cusp of one of those trends as well, you can capitalize on a lot of new interest. And I think being positioned to take advantage of something like that, and watching the trends and being mindful of what you can actually pull in and sell.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard.
It's like sometimes the fidget spinner thing. That's my big example to a lot of people is who would have thought that a little fidget toy would become a craze, but it was a short-lived craze. But you saw everybody's brand on one of those things.
Yep.
And if you're right there at the beginning, you're a lot more visible than the people coming in late to the game.
Well, it's kind of like the masks too. Everyone has custom masks now. Doing the whole custom mask thing.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to brands, right, the brand is probably the most important part. And once you're able to develop a positive experience around that brand, then the customer is they want to have that, they want to continue to have that positive experience, right? So they'll keep coming back because it has positively impacted, their life in some way.
Yeah, I think that's particularly true for music. You win a fan, they're going to come back because they had a great time at a show or they heard a single that they just really enjoyed. So that's particularly true for any artist.
Definitely.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, do we have some other content we wanted to play?
Yeah.
What else have we got in there? Let's actually play this Maypop video.
Maybe. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to...
The NTI birthday.
Welcome back to the show, and we're joined by Jason Dean with NTI and Try Entertainment, and we were talking about networking. We met yesterday at a networking event, and we're trying to participate in more of those.
I met him a while ago.
Yeah, well, James is our networker. If you've ever met James, you know this to be true.
Yeah. I talk a lot. That's what I do.
But Jason, how long have you been doing the networking thing?
So I've really been consistently networking for about the past 4 years. I was working a third shift job, and the same week, the timing belt on my car and my son's car broke. So I had 2 cars I had to replace. Didn't have a way to increase my income, so I kick-started my website design business at the time. Needed a way to get the word out about it, so I started networking. Been networking consistently, again, for about the last 4 years. Through that time, I spent an entire year pretty much networking, going to my job, networking again in the morning, a few hours of sleep in the afternoon, another networking event in the evening, just developing relationships. And I did that for an entire year before I finally got burnt out and said something has to give. Left the third shift job and started my business consulting company. I needed a way to better brand and market myself, for one, and then 2, I wanted to be able to leverage my network. Having several thousand contacts at that point, it was how can not only I grow my business, but how can I help everybody that I've connected with grow theirs as well.
Yeah.
So it really comes down to connecting people, right? Anytime that I'm working inside of a business, I'm always looking for ways to introduce them to some of the other businesses I'm working with. One, that makes my life a lot easier because I'm helping everybody move down the road together. But 2, there's a lot of satisfaction in being able to watch those relationships grow. That happened because you were the person that put those people together, right? It really boils down, it doesn't matter what you know so much as who you know. Mm-hmm. Being able to get the right introductions, more often than not, leads to wherever it is you want to go. The central part of my networking, at least at this point, is Networking Today International. If you're not familiar with it, it's about to celebrate its 8th year anniversary or birthday this coming June. They're having a big 2-day party, so to speak, June 17th and 18th. Where they're having visitor days, they're having all kinds of events and activities. And it's something I really want to encourage people to come out to because there's also a charitable component to it. NTI is very, very charitable. And they're always partnering with different charities to help them, especially because 2020 was so miserable when it came to being able to do any fundraising. There's a lot of charities out there right now that are struggling. I've networked really kind of across the board, all the different kinds of networking groups you can think of, the BNIs, NTI. There is one that I used to attend, Network After Work. Lots of in-person networking. One of the cool things about NTI was prior to COVID, they had created NTI Online. So that was November of 2019.
I utilize that pretty much a lot.
Yeah, and so when COVID hit, it made that transition online very simple for the organization. And I've been, a consistent part of that. That's part of why when I was introduced to NNA, the National Networking Association, and learned that they wanted to create kind of a standard for networking, I was super excited about it because, being able to bring training and education to people who have never networked before, that's a huge, plus to the industry. And, I see that having a really long-term positive impact on the industry.
With networking, it's a great thing. You were talking about connecting other businesses as well. I think that's really important because people will remember when they've come to you for some help, and you were able to help them out. So whenever you come to them for some help, they'll be a lot more willing to offer it. Or if they ever need another job again, they're a lot more likely to call you. It's ingratiating yourself to their to what they need, and being able to anticipate those needs as well. If you see similar businesses or businesses that could benefit from each other, and being like, oh, hey, I think you should reach out to this person. I think they could help. That's a good foresight to have, as far as building new business models. When you're trying to educate people about networking, what's one of the biggest mistakes people make when they start networking?
I think one of the biggest mistakes is they'll come out to one, maybe two networking events, and they're coming out to get business. And when that doesn't happen, they're like, oh, networking doesn't work, right? It requires building relationships. If you come into a networking event with the mindset that you're there simply to help other people get to wherever it is they want to go, that is automatically, whether you believe in it or not, kind of like from a karmic perspective, you're putting that goodwill out there, and people can sense that. The same is true if you come into an event like that and you're, really just trying to get whatever it is you can out of it, like give me leads kind of thing, give me referrals, without investing in the relationship, without, genuinely trying to help people get to wherever it is they want to go. People sense that energy, and if they feel like you're not being genuine, then they're not going to send you business.
For sure. I tell you, Rich, he is a networking all-star. He knew everybody's name in that room. I mean, there are a couple hundred people there. He was just like, he knew them first and last name, what they did, where they're from, what their dog's name was. I mean, if you're talking about developing those personal relationships as an extension of a business relationship, then yeah, you got to be on the ball. You kind of got to pay attention. You got to know people's names. I mean, you don't have to know their first and last name, but it helped to, at least know their name and what their position or role is in the company.
Oh yeah, it is a skill that you can develop.
Takes time.
It does. It takes time. It takes practice, learning how to talk to people, learning how to talk to different personalities. Being able to identify what kind of a personality an individual has, in order to be able to talk to them in such a way that they understand and they're open to whatever message you're trying to get across. So there is a lot that goes into it.
And there's also, you got to follow up. Like I got a stack of business cards
You
right
gotta
here.
follow up,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? I'm about to call all these people today and be like, hey, it was great meeting you. Like blah blah blah. I gotta follow up with all these people that I talked to yesterday.
It's
that
like
way,
sending a thank you letter.
I mean,
it
that way
seems like it's
that way they know you're real.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like I think something I struggled with when I first started networking was that I'd get a business card and I'd be like, oh yeah, whatever. And I'm just like, yeah, now I gotta call everybody. And I gotta send them an email or something. Be like, hey, it was great meeting you. Love to talk with you more. Let's do a one-on-one meeting and see what we can do together.
No.
You know, that's like the first initial step into networking. Once you meet somebody, you got to plan a meeting and get to know what they do and then the next steps. You know,
No.
like it definitely takes time, just takes work and time, but it's dedication too. You know, if you believe in what you do and you want to help grow what you do, then you're going to do what it just takes to make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
A networking event is more or less your first impression, right? The follow-up is where you set up that maybe hour-long one-to-one and really get to know the individual. You'd be surprised. Sometimes that hour flies by, and now you're an hour and a half, 2 hours in, and it.
Let's go get drinks.
Yeah, and again, you know, it's that relationship.
Yeah.
Ideally, whenever you enter a networking event like that, whenever possible, you want to make sure that you go ahead and schedule that one-to-one before you ever leave.
Yeah.
When you're in the one-to-one, you want to make sure that you schedule that next follow-up, that next touch point, whether you know that's a call, whether it's a Zoom, whether it's a meeting,
anything.
whatever it is. Before you leave that engagement, you always want to make sure that you schedule that follow-up. Otherwise, it has a tendency to fall through the cracks.
That kind of leads into my next question is, for somebody that's attending a networking event for the first time, what are 3 pieces of advice you could give them?
Oh, 3 pieces of advice. I guess the first one would be, you know, make sure that you just approach people. You know,
Don't be shy.
Yeah, don't be shy about it. Everybody is there to network. You know, don't be afraid to walk up, introduce yourself, you know, ask whoever it is, you know, what do you do? And based on that, think of ways that you might be able to somehow help them or somebody that you can introduce them to that, you know, would further their goals. So that would be the first thing. Don't be shy. The second thing I think would be, like you said, you know, make sure that you're following up. Yeah, because if you're not following up, then it's pretty pointless.
It is pointless. There's no point in going.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no point to network if you're not going to follow through.
Yeah, because then, that's just.
I mean, like as you're talking, I'm like reliving conversations I had yesterday. I was like, oh, dude, I got to call this guy. I need to email this person. You know, it's like,
Well,
good thing I make mental notes.
if you don't follow up, then why did you attend? You essentially just came to say hi, maybe get a free raffle ticket or something. I don't know. But yeah.
There are people that do that, surprisingly.
Oh, I'm sure. There are people who are always in it for the raffle. Yeah.
I think the third thing would be just to be yourself. You know, people, again, going back to that whole energy side of it, you know, people can tell when you're being fake. So just be genuine, be yourself, you know, and that's really what's going to lead to establishing those strong relationships.
Absolutely. Where can people? We've got ROI Consulting.
That's a website. What's the website?
Yeah, we were showing that earlier. I think he's got it right there.
Yeah. ROI Consulting is my primary website. Actually, what he's showing right now is the telemedicine website. That's a fantastic service. There's several different packages, and it covers everybody in the household. There's no copays. So, you know, you're talking between $15 and $30. You can have the majority of your issues taken care of.
Pretty
just
easily.
from your cell phone.
Well, I mean, if you've been to a doctor in the past, Lord, anytime I've gone to a doctor, half the time they don't even look at you. Mm-hmm. I mean, their assessments are like, have you got a cough? All right. Fever? Okay. Here's some antibiotics.
They are literally allowed to spend like maybe 20 minutes with you if you're lucky.
No.
And they have a certain number of patients that they have to see
Oh, yeah.
every hour. So
And, yeah,
it's a business that, you know, yeah, they're a doctor and they're trying to make sure that they address your needs, but if they're not looking close enough,
Yeah.
then
They don't know.
Yeah.
There's always more patients than there are doctors. That's what they say. So, and we've also got NNA and NTI. So, what's the best way to contact NNA or NTI?
Really the best thing to do is reach out to me. My email address is jason.dean@roic-llc.com. I've got all my contact information out there. Got a digital business card, which is rjdeen.mynticard.com. And I'm happy to connect with anybody, really.
Absolutely.
Well, you say your email address again. I know he's typing it out.
it's,
And he looked at. He's like, "Whoa, that was a big one."
It's jason.dean
at
ROIC-LLC
-LLC.
-LLC.
Yep.
Alrighty.
I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and throughout my career, while it hasn't been linear, every job I've ever worked in the focus has been helping people. Whether it was, the Marine Corps, whether it was IT, financial services, and that was the common theme throughout all of it that ultimately led to me, starting the business consulting company.
And we were speaking yesterday, you've got a huge interest in music, so working with Tri Entertainment has been like kind of almost like a dream come true. You feel like you've been, you said something like all the networking and things led you into being able to work with Tri Entertainment, so.
Oh yeah. In fact, Brian and I connected on Facebook. We had some mutual friends, and he reached out to me, and after a few conversations, he was like, I want you to be my vice chairman. So, it's been...
Leveraging those networking skills into taking that first initial impression, making it a one-on-one, and then suddenly you got a position with a growing company.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic.
It's a success story right there. Mm-hmm. All right, well, thanks for being on the show, and check him out. You've got his email right there at the bottom of the screen. Hit him up if you want to get involved with NTI or one of these networking events. They got a lot of them going on around Knoxville, and you do them up in Ohio as well?
Yep, we've got 6 meetings up there. 4 of those 6 are still online. There's a couple of that have gone back in person on Tuesday and Wednesday. But reach out to me.
NTI is in like 20 states or something like that?
It's all over the place, yeah.
Yeah,
They've got them in a lot of big cities, so yeah, definitely get involved on your local level as well. We've got one coming up in September here.
Yeah, that's a big event. But I attend the one that's at Decker, whatever his name is.
Dano's off.
Yeah,
Dano's,
Dano
yeah.
Decker, Prime America.
And I guess we'll be doing
Thursday
some interest meetings here as well.
Yeah, I've been trying to work on it. It's just I've been slammed. It's just so hard to pull that all together while I'm doing all the sales and everything else. Like I have to. I'm going out there to network instead of putting on a meeting.
Instead of putting on, you're putting it to
it
to work instead of hosting one. Yeah, it's
it'd
difficult to straddle
maybe
that
you
line.
should host the one and I go network.
We can do that.
But we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
but
we always do.
That'll kick in sometime in June. May is pretty insane for us, so is June and August and everything.
Yeah,
else.
we got to build things into the schedule.
Yeah,
we
much.
We gotta look far out in advance and be like, okay, what can we actually accomplish?
Yeah.
But Jason, thanks so much for joining us, and keep an eye out for what Taylor Esposito's doing. Go add that track, "Kiss Me Like It's Not Over," to your playlist today, and we've got a brand new single
that just came
dropped
out
today.
It came out today. Yeah, Mackenzie
We've been
Phipps.
talking lots about it. It's the new single from Mackenzie Phipps called "Maybe," and we're gonna wrap up the show with it. So, as we always say, be blessed and be a blessing to others, and we'll see you next week.
Well, we should play this one, and then we should play Cruises because he has that big show tonight here at Mill and Mine.
Okay, so we'll close out the show.
We're gonna listen to this song, then we're gonna come back, and then we're gonna close the show out.
Okay.
Go for it.
Surviving yet another night with the shining of my front porch light. I know some things got out of hand between us, holding back tears from our eyes. I don't know all that I had said, but the word goodbye runs through my head. The last thing I remember was waking up to find that you were next to me. As I lay here all alone, and maybe it was in the stars that wasn't shining down on us. Maybe it was in the fire that wasn't burning bright enough. Maybe it was in the cups that we just threw down to fall. Maybe it's in our heads, thinking that we knew it all. Maybe it's not in our hearts. Maybe it's not in our hearts. I wish I could go back in time. I wonder what all I would find. I remember how we both held hands and spent the day without a care in the world. And I'm still trying to figure out where we went wrong and how. And now you're standing here in front of me, but your heart's already gone. And all that I can say, and maybe it was in the stars that wasn't shining down on us. Maybe it was in the fire that wasn't burning bright enough. Maybe it was in the cups that we just threw down to fall. Maybe it's in our heads, thinking how we knew it all. Maybe it's not in our Maybe it was in the stars that wasn't shining down on us. Maybe it was in the fire that wasn't burning bright enough. Maybe it was in the cups that we just threw down to fall. Maybe it's in our heads, thinking that we knew it all. Maybe it's not in our hearts. Ooh. Maybe it's not in our hearts. Maybe.
Mackenzie Phipps with Maybe. That single is out right now. Go add it to your Spotify, your Apple,
iTunes, all
iTunes,
of it.
anything like that. Just get it in your life. Great single.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to dropping the music video for that on May 21st.
That's the plan, to release it then. So it's going to be a killer video, and you know, it's going to be sweet.
Yep.
Fantastic. So.
And I guess that's about it, right?
That is about it. Actually, tonight, if you haven't, well, I guess you can't get tickets, but
nope, sold out.
Cruz Contreras, he is playing at the Mill and Mine. He has sold out the show. It's one of the first big shows they're having over there. We're gonna play the live session for you all to close out this show. Hope you guys enjoy it.
If you've got tickets, this is a reminder to use them. You know, maybe you bought them a while ago, and maybe you forgot about the show. Don't forget to go see Cruz tonight. It'll be a good show.
Killer show, man.
Be blessed. Be a blessing to others. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, take care.
Live from Market Square. Bye.
Hey y'all, we're coming at you live from Promotion Studios on Market Square in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Rain fell down and the creek rose up. my coffee cup, living like a ghost from day to day. Rhyme or reason, it's hard to say. Running these roads, a young man's test. Silver Eagle Line 90 West. The best of plans they could not see, the way things they really be. Oh, I wish you let somebody love you. Got the gang all tickets for the show last night. A homemade whiskey, something just ain't right. Head on down to the old saloon. Hold on tight, cause we're going to the moon. Flying like a jet, wings on my feet. Close my eyes just so I can't see. Wade on into the bowling stream. Take my hand, making me believe. Oh, I wish you let somebody love you. Oh, I wish you let somebody show you. The 6 quarts low, diesel running hot. Listen to the show from the parking lot. If you wanna get drunk, sitting by the door. 'Cause everybody just want one more. Oh, I wish you let somebody love you. Let somebody show you. Oh, I wish you let somebody love you.
Y'all, we're live here in the Promotion Studios down on Market Square in Knoxville, Tennessee. This is Whiskey Angel.
Whiskey Angel, Whiskey Angel, where did you come from? Was it heaven smiling? Hell opening wide. You're all I ever wanted, and now I must say goodbye. Oh, goodbye. You washed away my sorrows. You saved me from myself. You took away my trouble, laid them on the shelf. Your love for my mercy running through my veins. From the first days you held me, pleasure and my pain. little eyes are smiling, maybe with shame. Now the love has faded, there's a tremble in your voice, just like angels sing, because they have no choice. Whiskey angel, whiskey angel, where did you come from? Was it heaven smiling, or hell up beneath light? You're all I ever wanted, and now I'm to say goodbye. Oh, goodbye.
Hey guys, I'm Cruz Contreras,
And I'm Molly Contreras.
and we're live here in the Promotion Studios on Market Square. The song is called The Fall.
I am not a rich man, I have no fortune to bear. I was born in the desert where flower is so rare.
I am not a rich girl. I have no diamond to share. I was born on the ocean, 1,000 stars I wear. I'll wear.
I am not a sailor, I am no captain at sea. I was born in the desert, and a captain I'll not be. A captain I will not be.
I was born on the water. My father sailed the ocean wide. A mermaid, my mother, she sails along with the tide. Sails with the tide.
I am but a dreamer, I've seen you in between the shadows and the sunshine falling down on me, falling down on me. And would you be my lover if I gave you all I had? Flowers from the desert and gold from the ocean sand, from the ocean sand. fall. I'll hold your hand in the cold and rain when the first snowflakes fall. Snowflakes fall. I'm but a dream, and I've seen you in between the shadows and the sunshine falling down on me, falling down on me.
How y'all doing? I'm Cruz Contreras, and this is Call Me Crazy.
You call me up just looking for a fight. Forked tongue on a blood moon night. Twisted truth like I never heard. Losing my mind, taking my turn. You think by now maybe I'd learn. Venom in veins, poison my nerves. Break me down with your lust and lies. A drug like you don't compromise. Crawling down the same old path. Run me down, how could I forget? It took some time, but now I know. Spinning lies, fools gold. I gotta have your love or nothing at all. Like a high-speed chase through a dead-end wall. Crash and burn, going up in flames. I'm a dead man, I'm walking over his grave. Pleasure and pain all feel the same. Call me crazy, I won't walk away. Call me crazy, call me crazy, call me crazy, I won't walk away. Call me crazy, call me crazy, call me crazy, I won't walk away. Call me crazy, call me crazy, call me crazy, I won't walk away. Call me crazy, call me crazy, call me crazy, I won't walk away. Call me crazy, call me crazy, I won't walk away. Call me crazy, call me crazy, call me crazy, I won't walk away. Call me crazy, call me crazy, call me crazy, I won't walk away. Call me crazy, call me crazy, Call me crazy, I won't walk away.
Welcome to the ProMotion Studios. Today we're joined by Molly and Cruz Contreras. Guys, glad to have you here, man. We were really excited to have you by. So tell us about this new project, the duo solo thing you've been going on.
Today was a big day. We did a couple things for the first time. Specifically, we sang on one mic. That was exciting, something we wanted to do. And then we've kind of gradually started singing over the past year. Pandemic era band.
Yeah, we did not
duo.
start singing. We didn't start as a music connection. We didn't sing together. It kind of just happened after hours
Yeah, super
in the car out west hearing the
organically.
music.
We've kind of been just busy living our life and making our life together, and this thing just keeps happening. And it's like, oh, we just sang, or we just sang again. Here we are, you know. And it's not something we've been super purposeful about, and been preoccupied with a lot of other things. But it has been really nice to.
I think it's
see it
becoming
just
intentional
naturally.
now.
Yeah, and I'd say today was kind of the first time, like, hey, do you want to sing as a duo on this? You know, as part of this opportunity. So
Yeah.
it's a big day for us.
Well, it's hard for me to believe that it's not intentional because your voices just go so well together, but the fact that it came together that organically, that's going to be kind of a weight off your shoulders that you didn't have to force something to happen.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's probably a great lesson in that, you know, just kind of trust in what happens naturally.
Yeah, and when you're not looking for something, you find it. I think just we were just living together, being together, and then we found that our voices had that sound.
They go really well together. Those harmonies are beautiful. So the songwriting, are you guys like both involved in the songwriting?
Not really. That's something I've done pretty exclusively up to this point.
That's your
We've
credit.
been singing
We've
mostly
been
music
talking
that's
about
already
it.
been
Yeah,
written.
we kind of
but-
are inching towards that, I think. I know the last song I wrote, Molly definitely was like, hey, you need to write a song, and here's some direction, or here's an idea. And I was like, okay. And she thought I was just going to like write one line and be done. And then
And it
out,
turned into a
whole
yeah.
day.
We have a whole
That's awesome.
and a totally new sound. One thing about Cruz that I think his listeners know, but that I'm kind of in awe of is he can write a song and it doesn't sound like any of his other songs. And this latest one is totally. It's not country. It's just a new sound, a new pattern of lyrics, and a new tone, and a new style, and that amazes me. He's so versatile, and I think more and more is just going to come from the songwriting, and we're definitely going to collaborate.
I think it's been difficult to kind of put a thumb on any genre that you really do. People try to lump it up with bluegrass and country. It's
like
you've
you know,
got
it's
some
just-
soul,
they
you've
all
got
miss.
you got some R&B in there and a lot. So
This is I don't know what the term is, but like a marketing publicity disaster.
Well,
my
they-
entire life.
It's that Cruz genre.
that's the thing is, you know, Americana is kind of that umbrella that so much of that falls under. But you've got a lot of diverse influences in there that I know people can hear. Growing up, what were some of your big influences towards songwriting?
You know, when I think of music initially, my dad encouraged me and my siblings all to play piano, and so we studied classical piano. And my dad, when he would come home from work, he would stop by the music store and buy sheet music, pop songs or musicals or whatever he was into.
Right.
And he could read music pretty well, but he would read it well enough to improvise and like get the structure of it. He would improvise, and then we would run around the house, you know, be like, we'd run, and be like, faster, play faster. And I think that really influenced me from an early age. And now that I'm teaching music, I realize how much of an impression what I learned from him still has influenced me all these years. So that was the beginning of it. And then when I was 12, we moved from Michigan to Franklin, Tennessee, and my younger brother Billy picked up the fiddle, and we got into fiddle contest bluegrass world.
Right. Yeah.
Hardcore. And that was my introduction to bluegrass music and really country music. And I got hooked by the time I was 15. I was like, all right, country and bluegrass, that's all I want to do.
Yeah, you wanted to be the best banjo player in the world.
It's
That
been
was
everything.
your
Banjo,
aspiration.
mandolin. Like, meanwhile, I got a scholarship to study classical piano at Vanderbilt in high school. So
Wow.
I had a really fabulous teacher that taught me a lot about musicality, and then I came to UT to study jazz piano, studied with Donald Brown here.
Oh,
So-
the legendary Donald
Yeah,
Brown, man.
I've been really fortunate to have some great influences and teachers over the years, and the whole time I was just most concerned with, I wanted to create my own sound. I mean, that was just the way my mind is wired, so I had a band by the time I graduated from college, and I've just pushed myself all these years. I'm not interested in being in an extreme comfort zone, you know. Maybe that's changing now that I'm older, you know.
Well, and you're definitely hard to pigeonhole. So
Yeah, so stylistically, it's changed. It'll continue to change, and to me, that's a good thing.
Well, coming from such a diverse background, you know, classical into jazz, says a lot about your compositional skills, and I think you can hear that in the music as well. When you're writing, does the education, do you lean on some of those things? Are you thinking of like Lydian modes and things like that?
It's like natural.
I
It's like the
can or
language
can't.
is
I
great.
can take it or leave it. I think a lot of the education, musical education I had, I purposely like digested,
And then deconstruct
processed to make sense to me, and then I just let it go. You know?
Right.
Ultimately, you want to perform. It's like an athlete. You practice all your technique and your training, and then when it's time to execute, you just do it. You want to be in that zone, that pure zone.
You said something like the other day that made a big impact on me when I was singing along to, I was humming the tune that he just wrote recently. He's like, oh, you already know the song. I forgot it. And I was like, how did you forget it? He said, I always just forget the songs right after I write them, or else I can't write a new one.
Oh, wow.
So that really spoke to kind of his thing. Once he gets it out, he puts it away, and that allows like the blank page to create something
Yeah,
new.
I think so.
I think that says a lot about
And
your
going in
process.
a new direction and give me options.
Well, and kind of, you know, deconstructing that. If you're ever going to have your own original sound, you can't go off what you're taught, you know, because you're
Yeah.
just going to sound like what you've been taught. So the creative process, you're working on a new solo album that's going to be due out sometime soon, and you've got a lot of great shows lined up, live streams, things like that. What else are you doing to like keep people involved and coming out to shows and supporting the music?
I don't try really doing our best to build and nurture our network, and you
Patreon.
don't do that face to face anymore. So it's online, kind of syncing up all of our platforms and keeping people engaged and just doing everything we can. I think.
Yeah, we're
So-
trying to stay on top of the technology and make sure he sends out a regular newsletter and keep our Patreon subscribers like as a part of the community.
Mm-hmm.
People know they can, you know, have a Zoom call with us or FaceTime us and ask us questions, make requests. He sends out handwritten lyrics, and
That's
we
great.
show up online as much as possible, and really have done a lot of private parties and private Zoom calls to stay connected with the fans.
Well, I mean,
lessons, virtual lessons.
Yeah. With such a storied career, going back to Robinella and the CC String Band, the Black Lilies, you've had to have built a pretty supportive community
That's
over the
everything.
years.
I remind myself and anybody that I speak with, like, this isn't something you do on your own by any means. If you look at today, there's a crew of talented people here. Everybody's playing their role. It's teamwork, whether you're in a band or whether it's promoting, our team, our duo. You have shows coming up with the band. It's just, I think it's really important to remember,
Your fans are like your family, kind of. They
yeah,
really
and
carried them
I was
through the
branching out
pandemic.
from there, but yeah, our ability to travel nationwide and book shows or venues or private shows especially during this time, is a testament to that network. That
It's easy to forget who's on the receiving end of that product that you're putting out, But staying connected, now it's so much easier to stay connected and get people involved in your next project, Patreon and things like that. Get the people who are invested in what you're doing and interested.
Nobody has to do that.
Exactly,
I mean,
it's
flat
optional.
out, like, without the support of fans, I couldn't do it. So.
And when people have, a couple dollars and they can throw that way, it lets you know that beyond just enjoying your music, they want to hear more of it. They're interested in whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
yeah, really encouraging there if you're an artist. What other big projects you got coming up this year that you want to speak about? We got some festivals coming up in April. Got a big show at the Mill and Mine possibly happening as well.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting right now. It looks like it'll be my first Knoxville play, public Knoxville play, since everything's the baby steps of opening up again.
Right.
So this will be at the Mill and Mine on April 30th. It's a Friday night, and we'll be featuring the 6-piece group, which we just debuted recently for the Ghostlight series at the Tennessee Theater. And that's Chris Killingsworth on drums, Robert Richards on bass, Dave Egger on cello, Phil Ficanti on electric guitar, Molly and I.
It's a great group.
It's kind of
It's
we
fun to
can recreate some of the Cosmico material. Cosmico is the new solo record.
Yeah.
And
So you'll be able to hear that stuff in a different way than you'll hear it on the album.
yeah, and it's
similar.
we're not trying to completely recreate the album, but we're not going to be far off. And that's really up to the players. I'm not going to be like, you have to do this.
That's part of the live experience too.
But these guys are all so pro that from that my one experience playing with everybody,
It sounds great.
they dig the record and they want they're going to probably
He's like, I'm convinced.
put the extra.
I trust
effort in.
y'all.
Yeah, that's great.
It's like kind of putting out a baby into the world. You're just like, here, you guys want to hold the baby? It's like if they got shaky hands, like, man, maybe you shouldn't hold the baby. All
They're
right.
ready for it.
That's great. And I guess when we're recording this, the Ghostlight series may already be out because it's dropping right in.
Tuesday, March 23rd.
So it's probably already out right now. If you've not seen it, it's a Tennessee Theater Ghostlight series.
Yeah.
All right.
TennesseeTheater.com/ghostlight is where you can find the video.
So it's going to be on their website.
We'll probably have maybe like 8 different groups.
Yeah, we're the last group of 2 sets of 4. Yep.
And you're saying that you performed with your back to the theater
Yeah.
to get that beautiful Tennessee Theater background. That's got to look
I
really
think
cool.
It's going to look good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
They're trying to raise support for the Tennessee Theater, which hasn't really had any shows during this pandemic.
No.
So all the contributions and donations made go to the theater and split among the 8 groups that performed. So
That's one of those places. It has to stay around. I remember when they shut down for the construction and the refurbishing of it, and when they reopened, how beautiful it looks in there now.
Man, I was so. It's a cool memory. I got to mention. So the grand opening, we played Robin Ellen 60 String Band. My brother was with us. Probably Taylor Cooker, maybe Steve Kowalczyk at the time, and we kicked off the second set, I think, of the show, and we got to be on that. I don't know what you call it. It's like an elevator.
Yeah, the riser.
So like we came up onto the stage,
Yeah.
like there's like a bunch of people in tuxedos, like 1,500 people.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. I'm like, I don't know if I'll ever do that again. That was a cool
Yeah,
experience.
absolutely. And I remember even when they were shutting down before they refurbished it, the last thing that they did, and the last thing that they showed was Showboat, the musical. And I thought it was such an appropriate thing to kind of close that chapter because it had been the host to so many bands, so many different varieties of entertainment. And, Showboat closes and it's going down the river again. And it's just like, well, just get ready because it's going to open up with another full force. And looking forward to seeing them do some more great events there soon. Hopefully get to see you on that stage in front of a big audience. They're the Bijou, anywhere in town, Mill and Mine. Where can people find the music? Where's the best place to get a hold of?
CruzContreras.com, I believe.
yeah,
It's
so
kind of like where all of everything.
you can
is
find
set
all
up.
the links on Cruz Contreras, and most of your music is still hosted on Spotify and any streaming under the Black
Yeah,
Lilies.
the
So
Black Lilies
his
right
songs, when Cosmico comes out, it's going to come out under Cruz Contreras, and you have your own YouTube channel now. Videos of your solo performances are on YouTube, and we post them on the website and
Yeah.
host them there.
And definitely check out the Patreon page. That's something that's really important.
Yeah.
For
Behind the
us
scenes, look into
surviving
Cruz.
and
Oh yeah, it's integral, man. And
Really is.
yeah, and plus people get something out of it. It's involvement. it gives some people a bit of agency about like what's going on. They feel like they're part of what's going to happen.
Yeah, we
So-
kind of blog on there a little bit and do behind the scenes like rehearsal clips with that full band. We offer special perks from Cruise, and of course when big shows open up again, you'll get tickets to the shows and that kind of thing. And that's patreon.com/CruiseContreras.
Perks and rewards. Perks and rewards, always important.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. We're really looking forward to this, and we're so glad to have you in here.
Appreciate y'all.
Check him out, CruiseContreras.com. You got it's one-stop shop for everything Cruz Contreras.
That's it.
All right. And Cosmico, be on the lookout for that new album. Is it Cosmic O? Like, what is that?
Spanish,
Cosmico.
yeah, Cosmico.
Cosmico. All right, cool. Cosmico, cosmic in Spanish.
Yeah.
Bringing that a little Espanol. Right on. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below. That way you don't miss another promotion live session.